Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where this is exactly where the camera was when I loaded up the game. It's centered on our capital, which isn't necessarily surprising, but I just wanted to point out, there's a naval invasion going on up over here. They're attempting to naval invade our vassal, Sind. And they've tried this, I've noticed, quite a number of times, specifically right here. If you go back through the videos, you may have also noticed it. This happens fairly regularly, and I find it very strange. Why are they invading here when there's literally all of this coastline that is undefended, and they could invade any of it? They just aren't. I don't have a reason for that. They were really interested in invading right here. It's very strange. But whatever. Last episode, we opened up this front down over here, and this front is going quite well for us. Have we managed to get both army groups over here at this point? Let's check. No, this army group isn't here yet. They are close-ish. Some of them are, anyway. Okay, so that's noted. They're on their way. And we're just going to continue to press in over on this side. Now, we're on a clock here. We're running out of manpower, and we need to majoritively defeat the Allies, ideally, before we run out of manpower. If we've just got little areas like this going on, that's not a big deal. But we do need to hopefully get the French Commune, at least, defeated. The Communist States of America would be nice too. They do control Sardinia and Corsica. Actually, the French Commune control Corsica, which makes sense, and Sardinia is controlled by the Communist States of America. So that's absolutely fine for right now, but like I said, we're on a bit of a clock here. So we want to push through, and we will do exactly that. Now, they're pulling forces from out over here, which is why we're pushing in on this side as well. This is completely under control. No problem here. There we go. That's obliterated, and we're just going to continue to slowly push in over here. I wish we were pushing a little faster, but we've made good progress. Keep in mind, our defensive line was all the way back by Berlin before we started this push. We can see our defensive line if we go into the land forts here. This was our defensive line previously. So we've made good gains in all of these areas. And that's expected because they did pull out a number of these troops. This is interesting. Are they encircled? Yes, because this is impassable. These guys are all encircled. In which case, get in here. Wipe them out. That's a significant number of troops. So let's get those eliminated. Perfect. And we're autosaving. Okay. So as soon as this autosave is over, I want to go take a quick peek at what's going on down over here. Okay. So we're still kind of struggling to make too much gains over this way, and that's fine. We're whittling those down. So for now, that seems okay. We're continuing to work up over this direction. This is very slow. Eventually, maybe this will get taken care of, but we're not making much progress there. Down over this direction, we have successfully landed using our Marines here. The question is, are we getting sufficient supply flow here? We're going to be getting some, I believe, but we need to be building our base there. They're going to be attacking this very regularly. And if we check our supplies here, we can see there's 0 supply remaining in this province. There is 0.6 total supply here. So we're getting a teeny tiny amount of supply from the Yalta victory point. And that's, not ideal. So they're going to pull forces back, and the question is, are they going to destroy our Marines here or not? Well, we're being attacked at this moment, but we're winning that attack for now. They're going to probably just continually attack this, but one question I have is, they just wrapped this attack. So I'm going to grab all but one of these ones, and we're going to try to attack Sevastopol, with the idea being that we would like to take Sevastopol instead of holding Yalta. Now, they're moving reinforcements in here. And that means that we're not really able to do that. So in that case, let's pull back on that, and let's fortify this area and hope that we can get a naval base built here in time to give ourselves some supplies. So for now, that's okay. I'm going to move one of these units out to here. And hopefully that'll cut these guys off from their primary port at Sevastopol. Now, they still have a port at Kerch, and that's understood. But this is undefended right here. So we're just going to move over there for right now. And that's also fairly well fortified, so we should be able to spread out some territory there. In theory. Eventually we'll arrive. There we go. So that's now under control. So I want this unit to be assigned to a front line out over here. Just one unit for now. Actually, I'm going to make it be 2 units assigned over here, like this. And then these guys, they're going to move on over. So that seems relatively okay. Now, I want to begin work on land forts here, and I also want to build a naval base here. So we'll get started on that. The one in Yalta is half done at this time. But that drives a pretty major wedge between these 2 areas. And for the time being, that's exactly what we want. Now, they're not attacking us yet. And we do have this unit. Okay, sure, that can go out over here. I want to check on Australia, that reminds me. How are we doing down over here? Well, the answer is not phenomenally. Supplies out this direction are still slim. So we should probably build a supply hub right up over here, and apparently we're about to convert this over. There we go. That's a level 2 railway, and so we should just bump that up. So we'll get a supply hub up here. That'll help us push out. But I'm not in a huge rush for that right now. Now it looks like they have successfully managed to isolate some of this stuff out over here. That's not terribly shocking. Let's put in a naval base out over here for now. And as far as this goes, I'm not too worried about that right now. We'll get back to it. As long as we've got this toehold, we're fine. So I'm not too concerned about that. This out over here is definitely a bit of a concern. The real question is, when are we going to get this done? And the answer is 21. Okay, so that is currently a week from right now. So these Marines just have to hold out a little while longer, and I think they can, probably. The next question is, how bad is the supply situation going to be out over here? Well, we will see if we manage to push this back to Kerch. For now, it is what it is, right? There's not a lot we can do there, except wait. This is not a great division necessarily, but we'll just move that up. That's okay. And, oh, look at this. We have a significant breakthrough over here. We are just about to the Italian peninsula, and that's pretty significant. So this offensive line right up over here has been passed. Let's get rid of that for now, and that's these guys here. And I'm going to just mark this same offensive line for now, or a very similar offensive line for now, and we can get going on that. So they can go ahead and execute that one. And, of course, we're stack wiping these guys that we encircled back over this way. This is technically an encirclement, isn't it? We should have this army selected. So with this army group, let's do an attack that's going to be sort of like that. And we can go ahead and execute that. That's only 16 divisions, and we do have the other army group. So that's this army group. And they can have the exact same attack order. And they can get started on that as well. So that seems good, and down over this way, we've made very significant progress. That's phenomenal. Okay, so these guys are now pushing up over this way towards the border with France. Now, my question is, where's the capital of the Communist States of America? Where are you? Apparently we can't right-click on the flag in Hearts of Iron. Okay, sure. Well, we definitely do want to get attacking down over here, that's for sure. All of our units that are over here, get in here and work on cleaning this up. Perfect. American Spain just capitulated, which is quite expected. We're not surprised about that in any meaningful way. So we'll continue to push up there, and that's a lot more manpower than we just had. Was that from capitulations? Where did that manpower come from? We just had like 2 million. Now we have 5.6. That's a very big deal. I didn't notice when exactly that happened. I'd have to go back and check the video. It was during this episode. When we started the episode, we were at 2 million. This must have been due to capitulations, because that's not what our growth rate is, that's for sure. Speaking of growth rate, are we coring anything right now? The answer is no. Okay, we should be coring something. So let's get going on that. And I want to check down over here. Ooh, we're making progress down here. That's fantastic to see. They're going to have nowhere to retreat very soon. Okay, so we're just about done in South America. We're pressing in over this direction, and in Crimea, at this point, we have a naval base in Yalta. We have supply flow here. We're entrenched. There's very little that they can do about this. So you might ask, what do we want to do about it? Well, the first thing that I want to do is I want to use all but one of these Marines to try and attack on Kerch. I want to see how this feels. Not great is the answer. Okay, go ahead and stop that. And we're going to move one of these units up over this way. The next idea is we come up here, and then we cut these guys off, stack wipe them with our units that are here. And then those can just walk across. We take Sevastopol, and then we take Kerch, and then the whole thing falls. That's the idea here. No, don't do that. Walk up over here, and I want one of these guys up over here. Cool. So it's going to be something along the lines of this. Now, you are walking here, you're walking here, that's fine. Now that these are completely cut off from any form of supply, they are encircled, and we're going to surround them. Like this. So we stack wipe that. That would give us the ability to push into here. And then we use these troops to take this, while these start attacks out in Kerch. Although, are they all leaving Kerch? Hang on. How many of their units are here? They're in dire straits over here, for sure. Okay, so supplies are a little grim up over this direction. That's not surprising. We need Yalta to be expanded in its motorization level. But we'll have a connection over here very soon. So I'm keeping an eye on this situation over in Kerch, and things are looking pretty decent. We have an additional naval base over here now, and we will definitely continue to run supplies through that. They are stack wiping up over here. That's fantastic. I want to check in on these fronts over here. It is going very well at this point. Okay. So this is functionally what we had hoped to do with these guys, but this isn't nearly as successful as it is in Crimea. So at this point, I'm content with just leaving this be. We're stack wiping these units here, and they're going to run out very soon. These guys, they're going to take over this front, and all of these Marines are going to move to this front, is the idea. But we do need to wipe out this little holdout area. And these are probably going to get redirected down here. We don't really want them to be down here, though, so this is fine for now. Okay, more stack wipes are occurring up here. Indian Eritrea has capitulated to Uruguay. Did they do a naval invasion down here? Apparently so. Okay, so with that in mind, we're going to need to pull some troops somewhere. And I'm going to pull this army. We're going to pull them down over here. They're going to frontline all of this, with the goal being to offensive line just this. I don't know how many troops are here. I don't think it's many, but it's going to take us some time to get there. So that's fine. In the meantime, we will continue to stack wipe these units, and that's starting to stack wipe quickly. Excellent. So that all looks fine. And we're just chilling for the moment. We're about ready to pull the trigger on this, but we're not quite there yet. So these guys have no assignment at this moment. Okay. So we're going to frontline them here, and we're going to frontline them here, like this. So they're going to make their way in, and they are going to start to have some supply issues, potentially, out over here. But I do want to pull the Marines out at this point. Well, once we have some reinforcements down over here. We don't want to lose Yalta. That would be bad. So let's just position our units here, and then we'll move over to here, like this. There we go. And then these guys, their primary goal is to take Sevastopol, but we'll just tell them, get in here. This is absolutely fine. So then we'll get these guys. They are also going to offensive line to Sevastopol. There we go. And then I want to grab these guys with their goal being to offensive line Kerch, like this. They're going to get in here. And then these guys, their only goal at this point, I want to select the army group here. That is this army group. Their only goal at this point is to take this. That's it. That's the whole goal there. So that seems fine, and we've got forces already arriving down over here. They've actually gotten here surprisingly quickly, but they're definitely pushing out over here. This was expected. I'm surprised it's taken them this long. Okay, so we're continuing to press in over this way. Things are looking relatively fine. That bump of manpower is a very big deal. So I'm going to grab one of these army groups here in the Iberian Theater, and their goal is going to be to widen this line. Le Havre, Paris, Marseille. About like that. Do it. So we're going to get in there and start pushing that. That would likely cause the fall of the French Commune at that point. So that looks very, very good. Now, the question is, are we going to make any significant gains over here and take Sevastopol? And the answer is yes, eventually. But how long is it going to take? Well, we're whittling our way through this. We're able to attack this so much more effectively now. And we're attacking over here. We're attacking over here. They're going to have a much harder time reinforcing. So that looks good. I want you to just get in here. It's undefended. Just take it. Okay. So Sevastopol is almost under siege at this point. And Kerch is absolutely under siege. This situation over here is nearly dealt with. So they can't really deal with this front, it seems. I want to check in on the situation in Uruguay, and the answer is this is getting really close. Everybody just commit to this. The People's United Provinces joined the Allies. Who is this? I see. Okay. So that means that we should pull an army to encircle this, most likely. These guys are about to join the war. We need to attack here right now. And we'll just be ready for them to join the war. But they haven't done it yet. Okay, so now they were called in. And this is absolutely not a huge issue. But all we need to do, I think, is we need to extend this front line up to, like, there. And then we need to extend the other front line that we've got here, but I'm not going to even bother with that. For now, we'll do this. But we needed to take this to ensure that there was no connection over here, but there wasn't anyway. This is fine. So we definitely want to get that eliminated, but I want to check in over here. How are we doing over on this side? Okay, so the answer is we are just about fully encircling Sevastopol at this point. But if we can take Kerch, this entire area falls. And things are looking decent on this front. Socialist Republic of Germany has capitulated. Excellent. So that's fantastic. Oh, wow, we've pushed really far over here. I didn't realize we had this big of a bulge going on here. That's insane. We're actually attacking Paris right now. That's pretty wild stuff. Cool. So that's fantastic. This is cleaned up. We have forces coming in over here. My question is, do we have an attack order up over here? And I don't think we do. These units here, I want them to offensive line down to like Calais, Dunkirk area, somewhere like this. And they can just go ahead and do that. Okay, so we'll get going on something along those lines. What is going on over here? This is broken from the capitulation. Okay. So the impassable area over here makes things a bit awkward. We need these guys to head over this way. So this is all part of this same army. I want them to frontline here, and then I'm going to grab half of these units, and I'm going to have them frontline over here, like this. With the idea being that these guys are going to attack Augsburg nice and quick. So they can just do something like this.
Come on.
And then these guys down here, they're going to offensive line basically down to the impassable territory here. Because this is a little awkward. And then we can have, like, these, or actually just this one unit can hold here. Okay, something like that. So they're going to try to link this all up, and we'll see if they succeed in that. We've got forces on the way over. Okay, perfect. So that looks good, and then we'll get this theoretically under control. Our pincer attack is very successful. At this point, things are going very, very well for us in Europe. Although I would like things to go a little bit faster, but honestly, our manpower is fine at this point. Because we got that big bump, I don't know where that came from. I really, really don't. Oh, the American theater is done. Look at this. Fantastic. We could tell because they were unassigned over here. So we can have the American theater go somewhere else at this time. And the question is, where do we want them? I think we want them in this area for the moment. So the idea would be that they get assigned here, and their offensive line is just going to be take Italy. Like that. So it'll take them a while to get there, but once they do, hopefully that'll be a thing. Now, France is probably going to capitulate pretty soon here. And once France capitulates, it's kind of over, right? I mean, it's going to be a big mess. No doubt about that. And these guys are being obnoxious out over here. That's understood. So for now, this is all fine. And we will have additional forces over here soon enough. Why don't you come here? You come here. And then, yeah, you're on your way in there. Perfect. So that's the stack wipe. And I want to grab these divisions here. Well, all of these should go here, I think. I don't know that they will. Yes, they are. Cool. Okay, that looks good. So we'll continue to work on that for now and see about pushing this back in. Now, they have a connection over here. This isn't all pocketed. That's understood. I want to launch an attack on Sure. And we'll see what we end up getting there. If we can pocket this, that would be very, very significant for us. But this offensive is going extremely well at this point. So that's great. Opening the extra front in Iberia was absolutely the correct call. Especially considering how little resistance there really was there. So this is pretty over, honestly. The French Commune is in full collapse at this moment. But it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to see about... Some of these army group orders are a big mess. We're going to see about cleaning up Europe here, and also, we're getting very close to getting Crimea cleaned up, but this still requires a little bit of work. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge Eskiel, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.